Opening strike, the broken colony. The Zurith Dominion had long prided itself on its cold efficiency. Their fleets cut through the stars like blades, their conquests precise and merciless. When they arrived in the quiet orbit of New Carthage, a human colony world nestled at the edge of settled space, they expected the same swift submission they had extracted from hundreds of lesser civilizations. But humanity was different. The Zurith commanders did not even bother with demands. They chose spectacle over mercy. Orbital bombardments rained fire across New Carthage's skies. Towers melted into slag. Civilian transports, carrying families and workers, were hunted like prey in the void. Children's laughter was silenced beneath the thunder of annihilation beams. The lead commander broadcast across all frequencies, his voice venomous with contempt. "Your people are slow, fragile, soft. Run, human, if you can, or kneel and die with dignity." It was not a warning, it was a taunt. The colony burned. The screams echoed into the void, and the galaxy took note, another human settlement extinguished by the arrogance of empire. Mockery in the halls of power. After the slaughter, the Zurith gathered in their council chambers, silvered mandibles clicking in delight. Hollow feeds replayed images of fleeing colonists incinerated in their escape crafts. Generals praised the efficiency of their annihilation. They mocked Earth openly. "Humans do not run fast enough," one admiral sneered. "They cling to their homes as if courage could hold back fire." Another joined in. "They are too civilized now, too bound by treaties and alliances. The Terran fleets won't move. They fear breaking their own rules more than they fear us." Across the galaxy, lesser species nodded in fearful agreement. Humanity, diplomatic, calculating, restrained, would surely issue protests, speeches, perhaps sanctions, but not war. The Dominion's arrogance spread like rot. Their officers laughed, their soldiers drank, and their empire celebrated the lesson they had taught the upstart species of Earth. And on the smoldering ruins of New Carthage, one survivor, bloodied, broken, and silent, transmitted a final beacon home. The silence before the storm. For weeks, the galaxy watched Earth. The United Terran Directorate did not speak. No fleets moved. No vengeance came. The silence stretched so long that many believed the Dominion's boasts were correct. Humanity would not risk open war. But silence is not weakness. Silence is breath before thunder. In the void of Sol, Titanic shipyards burned with secret light. Dreadnought hulls, long mothballed, awakened as engineers rearmed them with weapons few outside humanity had ever seen. Carriers once reserved for defense initiatives, brimmed with swarms of warcraft. Across Earth's colonies, soldiers marched under black banners. Orbital foundries forged weapons in numbers unseen since the last interstellar war. The patience of humanity ended not in words, but in steel. And when the silence finally broke, it broke with a whisper carried across every channel. "We heard you, and we are coming." The galaxy shivered. The breaking of stars. The Zurith Dominion's fleets patrolled the edges of their claimed systems, arrogant in their belief that Earth would not dare to strike. Then the Terran fleets arrived. They did not enter quietly. They arrived as a tidal wave, tens of thousands of warships tearing open slipspace gates in perfect formation. Suns were eclipsed as dreadnoughts emerged one after another, casting shadows over entire worlds. Every Terran transmission carried the same words. "New Carthage was ours, you will pay." The Dominion's first response was laughter. Arrogant commanders sneered at the small human fleets. But as the minutes passed, the scope of Earth's fury became clear. For every alien ship deployed, 10 human warships answered. For every orbital defense grid, humans unleashed swarms of torpedoes that blackened the void. Humanity did not match the Dominion, they drowned it. And when Dominion admirals demanded a parley, the human reply was colder than the void itself. You told us to run, we did not. Now it is you who must flee. The day the Dominion fell. The war that followed was not a campaign, it was an execution. Human dreadnoughts cracked planetary shields in hours. Orbital bombardments leveled garrisons that had stood for centuries. Dominion fleets were split, shattered, and scattered like dust before a storm. At the Battle of Tethros Prime, one Dominion general transmitted his infamous taunt to a lone Terran flagship. "Why don't you run, human?" The reply came not in words but in fire. The human ship, Eternal Resolve, unleashed a barrage so immense it split his fleet in half. The general's final words were swallowed by static as his command ship disintegrated into nothing. World after world fell. Cities that had once laughed at human weakness burned in silence. Soldiers who had once mocked Terran courage screamed as armored divisions landed on their soil. To the Dominion's shock, humanity did not seek prisoners or tribute or negotiation. They sought only obliteration. Each attack was precise, cold, and merciless. It was not war, it was vengeance. Retribution written in fire. Witnesses described it as biblical. Entire suns blotted out by Terran fleets. Armadas moving in silent formation, their hulls gleaming with cold light. Orbital strikes falling like storms of divine wrath. The Zurith capital itself became the final testament. Terran forces surrounded the system, cutting off every escape route. Dominion leaders pleaded, offering peace, tribute, even submission. Earth's answer was silence. And then the skies opened. The capital's defenses, designed to withstand centuries of siege, crumbled in hours. Human soldiers descended like phantoms, armored in black steel, their banners bearing no emblem but vengeance itself. The palace, once a symbol of Dominion arrogance, collapsed under a single precision strike. No survivors were recorded, no mercy was offered. The last words transmitted from the Zurith homeworld were a scream. The humans do not run, the humans hunt. Aftermath, the whisper of fear. When the war ended, there was no treaty, no surrender. The Dominion ceased to exist, erased as thoroughly as they had tried to erase New Carthage. The galaxy reeled. Species that had once mocked humanity now spoke their names in whispers. Alliances shifted overnight. Old empires bent their knees to Terran demands without a single shot fired. Because all remembered the silence, all remembered the storm, and all remembered the words that had doomed the Dominion. "Why don't you run, human?" Now no alien dared to repeat them. Instead, across council halls and shadowed taverns, a new phrase passed from trembling lips. "Never provoke Earth again." Epilogue, vengeance eternal. The ruins of New Carthage were rebuilt. Towers rose again, brighter and stronger, watched over by orbital guns that gleamed like unsleeping eyes. Memorials lined the avenues, carved with the names of the fallen. Children of survivors grew up knowing their parents' fate had not been forgotten. And every stone whispered the same lesson. Patience can endure 1,000 wounds, but vengeance, once awakened, is infinite. Humanity did not run. Humanity did not kneel. Humanity answered arrogance with annihilation. And the galaxy, forever changed, would never ask the question again.